Hi Spirit Fam, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a pick a card for you on the message that you have been missing that you need to hear. If you are coming back to the channel, welcome back. I am so grateful and so happy to have you here. If you are new to the channel, welcome to Eileen Into Spirit. My name is Eileen Rouse. I am a psychic intuitive, a spiritual coach, and a sound healing practitioner. I want to remind everyone that this is going to be a general reading. So that means that it's not going to resonate with every single person out in the collective. So I ask that you take with you what resonates and leave the rest behind. So let's go ahead and dive right into your pick a card. You see in front of you 3 piles here, Spirit Fam. So pile 1 is going to be represented by this beautiful card titled Divine Animals. So I want you to go ahead and look at this. So pile 1 is going to be Divine Animals. I want you to primarily focus on the card here to see what card it is that is currently calling out to you. So pile 1 is Divine Animals. Pile 2 is going to be this beautiful card that says nothing has gone wrong. So this is going to be pile 2. And pile 3 is this beautiful sword that says, let go. So this is pile 3. So once again, Spirit Fam, I want you to tune into your intuition and your inner guidance. Allow your inner voice to lead you towards the pile that is calling out to you. Once again, we have pile 1 with Divine Animals, pile 2 with Nothing Has Gone Wrong, and pile 3 with Let Go. So without further ado, Spirit Fam, let's go ahead and dive right into your pick a card. Hi, pile 1. Welcome to your pick a card on the message that you have been missing, but you actually need to hear. So you chose Divine Animals, and I feel that this is pretty awesome because animals are truly connected to their essence, and they are connected to nature and spirit. So they actually lead their life living from their heart. And so this is really about making sure that you understand the deeper message here that I feel that you've been missing along your path, but now there's your team, your spirit team is really wanting you to listen. So let's read what it says in the book here for Divine Animals. Spend time with your pet or in the company of any animal to realize the same light that flows through you flows through all living creatures. We all create different containers for our soul experiences, depending on our individual desires and dreams. Humans experience greater contrast than animals. That is why our influence and creations are wider reaching. However, this also makes it easier for us to split and stray from our hearts. Animals reflect the divine love that we are. When we are around animals, it is easier to move into alignment where we can be inspired to grander creations. People often believe they receive unconditional love from an animal, as an animal is more likely to be aligned with its soul instinct and doesn't need you to be different to who you are for it to feel loved. You will feel free to be who you are. When you emulate this behavior for yourself, life becomes more relaxed, loving, and your relationships will catapult to a whole new level of joy. So Pile 1, I feel that what your team, the message here that you've been missing is that you really need to start living from the heart, making sure that the choices and the decisions that you are making in your everyday life are in alignment with your soul and your higher calling. And it's really about embracing this aspect of recognizing the connection between you and other people in your life. You know, we all come into this life with companions, soul companions, whether it's in animal form or in human form. But it's important for us to be in alignment with who we are, not trying to conform ourselves or shape-shift into who other people expect us to be. What I want to point out here with the divine animals, and the one thing that I absolutely love, is that the animal on this card is a lion. And whenever I see a lion, I think of courage. I think of bravery. And I don't know why, but what I keep hearing in my head here for you, Pile 1, is the cowardly lion from The Wizard of Oz when he sings his song about courage. And I really feel that what you are needing here is courage. Courage to be brave, to be yourself, to be authentic, to be unconditional with yourself and trust yourself and love yourself enough to know that you are who you are, and you don't need to change who you are to accommodate or make other people feel comfortable. So this is where we are beginning with your message here, and I absolutely love this. So let's dive a little bit deeper here, Pile 1. So the first card we have is Come Together. And this is beautiful because this is really about, you know, partnerships, and it's about the companions that we make here. And I feel this also really speaks about you coming together with your higher self, with that part of you that you often like to hide, right? Which is why I think that a lot of times, I think it's the reason why I got the whole cowardly lion from The Wizard of Oz. Like, I keep hearing that song playing in my head. So if you're not familiar with that, I highly advise you to look that up from The Wizard of Oz. So the message here with Come Together is that love needs to be shared. Love is an emotion that is meant to be expressed. And I feel that when we look at love, love is unconditional. There are no conditions in how we express love. And I feel that you're needing to really sort of come together with how you express love, not only to others, but to yourself, and how you embrace love in all aspects. Next, we have the Queen of Light. This is about illumination, it's about enlightenment, and it's also about celebration. And I really feel that this is really about you, you know, being open to this message, because clearly this is a message that you have been missing. Or maybe there's just a little piece here in this message that hasn't clicked. And so now this is the message that's clicking, that's sort of putting all the pieces of the puzzle together and giving you that aha that you're like, oh, this is what I've been missing. This is what this means. And so with the Queen of Light, this is you really being illuminated, not only by love, but by courage and bravery and your authenticity. It's about you standing in the light and celebrating who you are and honoring that. I really feel that's important. You gotta learn to honor who you are and stand firmly and proudly in your power and in your authenticity, and allow yourself to be who you genuinely are. Next, we have peace. And I love this because I feel that by you recognizing here, pile one, that you're meant to be brave and courageous enough to be authentically and organically who you are, I feel that it'll take so much off of you. It's almost like a weight being lifted off of your shoulders, because I feel like you will be more at peace. There won't be a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of worry about what if these people don't like me, or what will they say about me, all those kinds of things. I think that a lot of times when we try really hard to fit in to a group or to a crowd, we're really trying to be someone that we are not. And it makes things a lot more difficult for us. It creates a lot more stress, a lot more anxiety, because we're basically having to, camouflage ourselves. We're having to be that chameleon and shapeshift into many different versions of who other people expect us to be, but it's not genuinely who we are. And I want you to understand here, pile one, that I feel that you're needing to release this burden or this expectation that you have to please others in order to receive love. And I think this is the big key here. You don't need to be someone else in order to receive the type of love that you are and that you deserve. And if you are really trying to get love from individuals who are basing their affection or love for you on on who you are, then that is what we call conditional love. That's not the kind of love that we ultimately want, because love is expressed and it is given freely. There is no requirement for you to receive and be love. And so this is, I feel, what you are really needing to embrace here and really learn. So let's dig into the tarot here. So we are starting out with the Page of Cups. And I love this because the Page of Cups is very inspired by their dreams and their desires. And I feel that a lot of us, when we're younger, we all have these dreams of, being the prince, right? Or being, the princess, and, rushing towards the things that we love and that we enjoy and that make our hearts sing and that make us, feel light and airy, right? And this is great. And then we have the Knight of Coins. Okay. We have the Four of Wands with the Eight of Wands and the 10 of Wands. Look at this. Okay, let's start at the heart of your reading here, which is the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands is all about a secure foundation and a celebration. A lot of the times people look at the Four of Wands as a marriage card, but here is how I'm interpreting this for you here, pile one. I really feel that what needs to come together for you here is that you have to be able to build a solid foundation within yourself of what love is, what it means to you, and understanding your worth. You have to be consistent with your actions, and you also have to be balanced in your dreams and in your inspirations. The Page of Cups here is one of those that, dreams a big dream, and they ultimately, put all of their dreams and their wishes in that cup that he's holding, right? And it's connected to his emotions and how he expresses himself wholly, in his youth. So really think, maybe you created a belief system that in your youth where you felt like you had to be someone else in order to receive the type of love that you ultimately wanted. But the thing is that this is about you connecting to pure, genuine, divine love. And your first card was divine animals. And it was very clear that animals are connected to their spirit. They are connected. Nothing will ever stray them from that because they're living a life that is of pure spirit and pure heart. And so I feel here that with this Page of Cups is that, you know, you have a lot of fertile ideas and anticipations and ideas of what you want love to be. And maybe you look at things from a perspective of, well, there's always fate that gets involved with love and relationships. And maybe this is about a particular relationship that didn't really pan out that well, right? Like maybe it started out really well, but then it just sort of came to an end here. And so I feel that because that happened, you've now sort of have this idea or this perception that all relationships are that way. But the thing is that you have to remember that the beliefs that you carry, that you have, build a foundation for you from which to build upon. So understand here, Pile One, that, you know, what you're desiring, what you are wanting, is feasible. You could totally have all of that you desire, but it's going to be very important for you here, Pile One, to be very clear about what it is that you are ultimately wanting to have. And I think you have to really ask yourself those deep, deep questions, because remember, the Knight of Coins here is very diligent in what they are doing. And they're willing to put in the work. And I'm talking hard work. So I feel that you're going to have to put in a lot of hard work here in regards to what you are wanting to seed, what you are wanting to build, what you are wanting to create here. Because, you know, that is ultimately what is going to help you become or embody this divine love that you are wanting to build upon, right? Now, the Four of Wands at the heart of your reading, it's representing, you know, rejoicing in a celebration, in love, in a union, in partnerships. It's just celebrating something that is joyous, okay? And I feel that this is where you need to learn to cherish the loved ones that you have in your life, and even those that tend to be very challenging. I feel ultimately that is the most important. With the Eight of Wands and the Ten of Wands here, I feel that your spirit team has really been trying to communicate this message to you. And you've probably been seeing it in your outer world a lot lately. But you haven't really sort of put the pieces of the puzzle together here, Pile One. And I want you to understand that you have now entered this phase where once you hear this message, you've now come to the end, right? So this is something that needs to be transformed. Your thought patterns, how you feel about love and relationships and how you feel about who you are, all of those things need to change. It's going to come to an end. And there's a reason for this, right? Like whenever we have certain relationships that don't pan out, you have to remember that they turn out that way for a reason. There's always a specific purpose to it. We might not understand it in the time that we're actually going through it, but at some point along the line, we will understand it. We'll see the deeper meaning. We'll have a better understanding of why things transpired the way that they did. And I feel that when things sort of come to an end, understand that it doesn't mean it's completely over and that you're never going to experience that again. What this means is that you will have a rebirth. Something new will take its place and it'll be different. It'll have a different experience. Okay. So let's dive in a little bit more. So now we have number 33. Now, this is huge because I want to point out here that your first card was Divine Animals and it was a 22. Now you're getting the number 33. So when you see double numbers like this is your spirit team really trying to communicate to you. And numbers represent frequency. It's a frequency of energy that is being surrounded to you. Now, the number 22 is a master builder energy. So that means that you are meant to balance and harmonize all of the energies that are around you when it comes to love. And it's really about looking at all sides of the coin, the duality, right? The unconditional love versus the conditional love. And it's sort of balancing those energies together so that you can truly live a harmonious life. Now, the number 33 here says, this is a blessing in disguise. Be patient and have faith that your angels have this situation under control. What will come is far better than you dared to dream. So again, I feel this is important here, Pile 1, because there could be some of you that have experienced a major heartbreak or maybe a relationship that has sort of fallen apart that left you feeling very disappointed or wounded in some aspect. But understand that, again, as I mentioned earlier, there is always a reason for why each and everything occurs in our life. And even when we are going through it and it doesn't make sense to us and we're scratching our heads saying, what the heck happened? How did I get here? Know that you are always going to be protected and your team is always going to give you the guidance and the messages and the clarity that you need in order to continue to move forward. It's not about keeping those, types of experiences tucked away or hidden. It's really about looking at them head on and moving forward. Okay. So let's go a little bit further. So next we have rest and reset, sanctuary, and manifest. Okay. This is actually really good. So rest and reset talks about making sure that you make time, that you set aside time to give your body and your mind a break, a rest, right? Understand that, whenever we go through breakups or we go through heartaches or relationship, woes, a lot of times, some of us, really feel that in our body. And sometimes we really feel it in our mind because a lot of times we tend to get in our heads. We start to overthink and we overanalyze and we start to roll over, every memory back in our mind on how could I have changed this? How could I have avoided this? How could I have made this better? Take a break. Get out of your head. Allow your body to naturally relax. Because here's the thing that most people don't realize here, Pile 1, is that when we go through this, when we start to really be overly critical in our head, we start to create fear in our mind. And that fear then turns into sadness and it turns into depression and it turns into all kinds of things that basically produces chemicals in our body. And all of that stress, all of that anxiety, all of those chemicals overflow into our body that then cause dis-ease in our body. And it causes us to have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, causes us to overeat. It causes us to, not, really get the amount of exercise or the sunlight or being out in nature. And eventually it just spirals out of control. And then we end up in the hospital or we end up sick. And so this is where your team is really saying, stop, take a pause, take a break, relax your mind, let your body rest, recoup from the situation that has transpired, and really create a sacred space where you can feel present and grounded and connected to source. And here's the thing. A sanctuary is really a place that you create in your mind or in your home, wherever you are, that makes you feel comfortable, that gives you a sense of peace and serenity. And the reason for this is because you're wanting to relax not only your mind and your body, but your spirit. And you're needing to build a connection with spirit so that you could ultimately feel that pure, genuine, divine, unconditional love. Next, you have manifest. Now, this is important because I feel that ultimately what you've been missing here is that the more that you tend to focus on the woes or the things that didn't work out, and you constantly feed your mind and your body all of those negative emotions, you are then ultimately going to create that in your outer reality. Make no mistake here, Pile One, that our thoughts and our emotions are very powerful to the point that they will create experiences that will constantly remind us of the things that we need to be aware of, consciously aware of. So by creating a sanctuary, by creating a space that makes you feel whole, present, connected, and grounded, it gives you an opportunity to then create magic in your everyday life so that you can start actually manifesting the actual relationships, the experiences, and the things that you want to have in your everyday life. And so I feel this is where you're really needing to sort of put it all together. So let's go ahead and draw your last two cards here, and let's see what additional information they have for you. So first we have soul family. So this is about calling in your soul tribe, recognizing that whatever experience or situation that you are currently going through, know that you don't have to do it alone. You're not meant to do it alone. Recognize that you have, supportive individuals that can help you, that can, guide you, that can give you the tools that you need to help you, put all of the pieces of the puzzle together and get out of your head and, back into a sanctuary that helps you feel comfortable and safe. And last but not least, you have Pleiades. So this really tells me here, Pile One, that you are a star seed and you come from the Pleiadian star family. And you basically have a higher purpose. You have a higher calling. You are here to uplift humanity. And I want to point this out. You might be one person here, Pile One, that has said, that you have felt that maybe you have had more challenging experiences with relationships than others. But the thing is that what you are ultimately doing is you are basically uplifting the DNA codes and the, consciousness codes for all of humanity when it comes to love. You've gone through those experiences because you've needed to have a deeper understanding of love. And remember, love conquers all. And so this is your purpose. This is your mission. It is to basically uplift humanity by the experiences that you go through. You might think that you are insignificant and that your experiences have no place or they don't matter. But they do matter here, Pile One. They matter so much more than you could possibly imagine. Because by you going through the upgrades, by you going through the experiences, by you learning and expanding your awareness and your consciousness, you create that much more light, that much more frequency on this planet. and it helps everyone else along the way. So pile 1, this is your message. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys. Hi, PileTwo. Welcome to your pick a card on the message that you have been missing that you actually need to hear. So you chose this beautiful card called Nothing Has Gone Wrong. And the beautiful thing about this card is that it really speaks to you about understanding that any obstacle that you currently face is leading you towards beautiful, loving request. So let's go ahead and read what it says in the book here for Nothing Has Gone Wrong. In the last few days, a change came out of the blue. It may have felt like your body and mind moved through a crack in reality as your life altered course so suddenly. Deep within, you have been craving change, and this situation brings new and different experiences to your life. You may be feeling a little lightheaded and dazzled by the brilliance of this expanded version of you, but you are doing so well. It is now time to catch your breath and settle into your new outlook. This is an opportunity to look at your thoughts, ideas, and your reactions to your potential success. As you become aware and implement change, you can rise above the limits people or situations have placed on you. This card depicts the trigram of the I Ching, which is the book of changes with a yin and yang symbol. This is a reminder that everything changes, that nothing can exist on our physical plane without its opposite, and neither is superior to the other. You can't stop anything that is manifested, but it can serve as inspiration to create new paths aligned with your soul truth. So, the message here that I feel that you have been missing here, PileTwo, that you really need to hear is that it is what it is. You cannot change what has occurred, but allow that these challenges or these obstacles to present you with opportunities to create a new path that is more in alignment with what you truly desire. I think a lot of times, PileTwo, when we get so excited about things and we ultimately start our process of wanting to manifest things, we get in our minds of what we want it to look like and we start truly working towards manifesting it. But we never really truly think about it. We never really truly ask ourselves, is this truly what I want? And I feel this is the reason why our team always asks us to be 100% clear, to make sure that we are crystal clear about the things that we are asking for. And I feel a lot of times, many of us manifest without even realizing that we're manifesting, right? Because we are creators. We manifest 24/7. And so it's going to be so important that you align with your soul truth, that you align with that which you are ultimately desiring, but also remembering that when challenges occur, don't look at them as challenges or obstacles. Look at them as an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to experience something and get clearer about what we are ultimately asking for or desiring. Every challenge or obstacle that is presented to us helps us get that much more clearer and more and closer to the path that we are ultimately wanting to be on. So let's go ahead and dig a little bit deeper. So next we have unexpected visitors. And I love this So unexpected visitors. I love how this kind of reminds me a little bit of like Alice in Wonderland when she's looking through the door because you see the little rabbit, right? And unexpected visitors really talks about, you know, if you expect the unexpected, you'll be prepared for miracles. So it's almost like being open to infinite possibilities and potentials, no matter what transpires, right? Especially when we are faced with a challenge or an obstacle. You know, when those challenges or those, roadblocks sort of show up on your path, you sort of need to just expect the unexpected. Be curious about it. Be willing to explore it and say, wow, where is this going to lead me to? I can't wait to learn, and it's really about understanding that. Now, in the book for unexpected visitors, it says, detours, surprises, and paradigm shifts. Expect the unexpected. No matter how detailed your plans are and how clear you believe the road ahead to be, there are times when the best plans are waylaid by unforeseen circumstances. And that's the thing, is that we have to remind ourselves and remember that sometimes that happens, but what it's doing is it's helping us be more connected to who we are, to what we're desiring, to our path, to our true north. And so that detour is there to ultimately put us back on the path, move us in the right direction. And so you need to look at those experiences in that way. So always expect the unexpected. Be open to the miracles that come through. Next, you have the Horse King. Now, this is about asking for assistance, right? And being willing to let go of control. I feel that this is important because I feel a lot of times here, Pile One, when we are on our path, when we are on our journey, we often hold on to the reins so tightly that there's no leeway for us to veer off course, right? But let's say you're holding on to the reins so tight that the horse itself, right, which in this case I feel is spirit. I feel in this case is spirit. And when they're trying to like nudge in a different direction because they're trying to help you avoid a pitfall or avoid something that they are actually foreseeing ahead of you, right? Because if you're on the horse, okay, the horse is in front of you, the horse is going to see something a lot further ahead than you are. They're the first line of sight, right? Because spirit and your team has that higher view. It has that higher perspective. And I feel that when you're holding on to the reins so tightly, you're not really giving leeway for spirit to lead you because you're trying to take control. And so this is really wanting you to sort of let go of the reins a little bit. Allow spirit to lead you because they're ultimately going to lead you exactly where you want. And it's you who really needs to sort of surrender to what is and allow it to be what it is. Next, you have regeneration. And I love this because this is really talking about rebirthing and experiencing the things that are actually meant to transpire in your life. I think a lot of times when we go through challenges or when we go through obstacles, and by the time we're done through that challenge or we move past it, we sort of feel brand new. We feel so relieved and we feel almost as if we've been reborn. That's the point of having a challenge and an obstacle. It changes our thought patterns. It changes our behaviors. It changes our perspective of what we previously thought or perceived about it. And it helps us gain that better awareness, that better clarity of what just transpired. It gives us deeper meaning. So know, PileTwo here, that everything has its time and its season for when things are to occur. And I feel that in this particular instance, you're needing to just sort of let things play out the way that they are meant to play out. Stop trying to prevent something from occurring and just let it be. Remember, I started by saying it is what it is. You can't, alter that in any way. You have to just allow it to be exactly what it is and know that there's a purpose, there is a meaning behind it. So let's go ahead and dive right into the tarot. So we are starting out with the Five of Swords, the Four of Coins, the Two of Swords, the Nine of Cups, and the Three of Coins. Okay, this is very interesting. So at the heart of your reading here, PileTwo, we have the Two of Swords. Now the Two of Swords really sort of gives me this feeling of an impasse, right? There is a choice, a decision that is ultimately having to be made here. And with the Two of Swords, it really represents, you being stuck between having to make a very hard choice. We're always presented with hard choices. But when we can learn to really be connected to our intuition and we allow our spirit and our guides to sort of take the wheel or lead us, then we ultimately don't have really hard choices to make. I think this is the reason why they gave me that whole depiction of letting go, loosening up on the reins a little bit so that you can actually be led to pure fulfillment, so that you could be led to having all your dreams and your wishes and being led to, celebrating all of those things. But when I'm just going to point out right now, when you are trying to take control and you're not surrendering here, you're sort of creating a situation here with this Five of Swords that makes you feel as if life isn't fair. And it makes you feel like it's a constant challenge. It's a constant battle. And you're always feeling defeated no matter what. And in that aspect, it makes you feel very insecure. And it makes you feel like you don't have a solid base from which to stand upon. And that's because you're not really allowing your team to lead you. You're not allowing your soul to take the reins. And this is ultimately what you're needing to understand here. It's very interesting that they depicted it this way because, and I normally don't really ever gravitate towards these tarot cards, but something really called at my heart today when I pulled these for this particular reading. So understand here, PileTwo, that your team is really wanting you to learn more about your habits, your patterns, what you naturally do when it comes to being challenged. What are the things that you naturally fall into because it's a force of habit for you? Recognize that those habits are often making you feel like you lose every single time. And you do. You lose because you're not allowing your intuition to guide you. You're not allowing your intuition to lead you and give and show you the next step and show you the next, what's ahead. With the Two of Swords, it's really about making a choice, but it's truly about listening to your intuition. letting your intuition be the guide. The Nine of Cups here really speaks about pure fulfillment, pure joy, having all of our wishes come true. And the Three of Coins is really about, working towards something, right? So if you're ultimately trying to create success in your life and you're trying to see something through, then the best way that you will get there is by trusting and surrendering to Spirit and allowing Spirit to lead you, because that is ultimately what is going to lead you towards the path. And you won't have to face as many obstacles or make hard choices that you ultimately have been forcing upon yourself. So next we have increase your knowledge. I love this. It says, education brings opportunities. Take a course, pick up a book, or find a mentor to teach you what your soul longs to know. And I love this because we just spoke about teaching, about you needing to learn. Learn how to surrender, right? Whether this means that you truly, find a mentor, you find some books, really learn about your natural defaults and really sort of change so that you can allow your intuition to fully lead you and guide you to where you need to be. And know that, every experience that you have, ultimately, even the challenges and the obstacles, it ultimately makes you, it builds you up. It helps you become stronger. And it creates, experiences that help you heal and grow. Moving on, we have shadows, opportunities, and healing. Okay, I absolutely love this. So shadows. So this is all about you really needing to ask yourself, what lurks in the shadows? What shadow behaviors or patterns do you currently have? What illusions are you currently facing that need to be brought to the light? And it's about, I feel for you, it's really about the obstacles and it's about the challenges, because I really feel like you don't like really experiencing those. But by experiencing those, it leads you to something new. It leads you to an opportunity. So the opportunities card says, obstacles are just opportunities for growth and wisdom. Walk through them to elevate. Again, understanding and recognizing here, PileTwo, that everything that you encounter on your path is just a way for you to become more in alignment with your soul truth, more in alignment with who you are. It's an opportunity for you to become more. It's actually an opportunity for you to elevate into your divine essence. Understand that every opportunity that you are presented, it's a way for you to heal. Divine healing is really understanding about, every experience that we have, every lesson that we learn. It's a way for us to heal, to elevate, to rise, to become more of who we are. And divine healing is rightfully yours. Every obstacle, every challenge that you overcome gives you divine healing. But it's really about you giving yourself permission to receive the healing as you go through the experience. Are you willing to receive that type of energy? So let's move on a little bit more here. So these last two cards for you here, PileTwo, is Trust Your Path and Keepers of the Earth. Okay, with Trust Your Path, it says, if you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So again, This message is really about you learning to trust the path that you're on, that's been laid out before you. And no matter how many challenges, how many roadblocks, how many detours, how many obstacles that actually show up on your path, you have to learn to trust it. And if you knew that your team had your back and was there to support you and encourage you and provide you with the answers to how to get through, what would you do differently? Again, reminding yourself that this is about letting go of the reins, surrendering to your intuition and your soul truth, so that you can actually follow the path that's been laid out for you. The keepers of the earth are reminding you that you're not alone. You have ancestors, guides, angels that stand beside you. And you can always call upon them to help you along your path. Even when things become difficult, even when things become challenging here, PileTwo. It's really about calling upon those that you need to help you. Not too long ago, I recently experienced letting go of a relationship that I was actually very fond of. I looked up to this person, and I was very deeply wounded by this particular individual. But I had to do what was best for myself and my highest good. And even though it ended in a way that I would have never wanted to end, and it transpired in a way that I would have never wanted that to happen in any form or fashion, I recognize that it is what it is. And there was a time that I truly felt all alone on that path. And I kept asking myself, what could I have done differently? What could I have changed? It made me question a lot of things about myself, made me face a lot of shadows about myself. But I remembered that even though this thing presented itself as a challenge or an obstacle on my path, I knew that all I had to do was just let go and allow my team and my intuition to guide me. And it did. It made the decision-making process so much easier for me because I was wrestling with letting go of this relationship. And so that is your message, PileTwo. This is the message that you have been missing, that you clearly need to hear right now. And it's really about trusting the path that you're on, letting go, surrendering, let your intuition guide you. Don't make things that much more difficult for yourself. Remember that every obstacle and every, challenge that shows up on your path is just an opportunity for you to get that much closer to your true north and to your soul truth. So PileTwo, this is your message. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys. Hi, PileThree. Welcome to your pick a card on the message that you have been missing that you really need to hear. So you have chosen this beautiful sword of light that's titled Let Go. And what I love about this is that you can't really see this on the card, but on the card, on this sword, right here on the hilt, it says truth. So I really feel that the message that you have been missing is that it is time that you let go of things that are not in alignment with your soul truth. It's about standing in your power, taking back your power from people, places, situations, experiences that have sort of been draining you and that have been sort of stealing your light. So let's go ahead and read in the book what it says about let go. Let all just be. and take back your light. Stop trying so hard and breathe. Letting go does not mean jumping blindly into faith, but to release the resistance you hold about a subject so your dreams and desires can be realized. We have all hung on to a person, a place, a job, or an idea because we think it will give us what we seek. But hanging on is the result of unbalanced thinking. This imbalance has you needing compensation. You created a deficit by compromising yourself, thinking that was the way toward your dreams. It was your choice to do that. Now it is your choice to let go and create from love instead of fear. You deserve to have what you want without compromising your truth. You cannot change what has occurred. However, you can change what you do from this moment on. No one has been placed upon this earth to make you happy, just as it is not your responsibility to make anyone else happy. Free yourself and everyone else of the idea that we must please others to be loved. You are love, and you are loved, no matter what has happened in you or another person's life. So PileThree, this is a deep, deep message for you here. And I find it very interesting that each of the 3 piles were very similar in the same message. So I want to point out here that if you felt drawn to another pile, go to that pile and listen to the message, because you might actually find some really good golden nuggets in it for you. Moving forward here, PileThree, I feel that one thing you have been missing here that your spirit team has really been trying to sort of get your attention about is that the one thing that sticks out to me the most is compromising yourself for the benefit of others. This is about you standing in your truth and recognizing that not everyone or everything is meant to be a part of your life. Even when we have this idea or we sort of feel that it's meant to be, it doesn't always necessarily mean that it is. Maybe it is for a small fraction of the time. Or maybe it was simply there to help you become aware that it wasn't in alignment with you and it was something that you ultimately needed to let go, but you kept hanging on to it. And the one thing that keeps that keeps sort of coming up with me in this particular message here, PileThree, is that I was really feeling the need to let go of a particular job that I had. And I kept wanting to hold on to it. Because in a way, I kept thinking, okay, I can just continue to do this and it's going to be able to provide for me and it will ultimately, help me get to where I need to be. But the reality is that all it did was drain me. All it did was make me create more stress, more anxiety within my system and in my body. And so you really need to evaluate here, PileThree. What is it in your life? What person, what place, what situation do you currently have in your life that is draining you, that you are compromising your true authenticity for? What is it that you need to let go of so that you can actually stand in your power and stand in your truth and be proud of that? So let's dig a little bit deeper. So first we have flying. And I love this because this is sort of like a flying horse here. And when I look at flying, I really look at this from a perspective of, sort of observing, like going up into my higher self, being, more observant about seeing things from a higher perspective. It's about like rising above to get a clearer view, right? And I feel that this is what you need here. I feel that you need to sort of rise up to a higher point of view so that you could clearly see what's going on and how this person or this thing or this situation is sort of draining you. In the book for flying, it says, if you were a bird flying high in the air, what would you see? When you soar above life's challenges and opportunities, a new perspective becomes available. So again, I'm asking you here, PileThree, what is it that you need to see from a higher perspective? What relationship? Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's, a decision that you are ultimately making. If you can truly allow yourself to sort of rise above, to get into that observer space in your intuition and see things from a higher point of view, what would you learn? What new ahas would you experience or have? Next, we have the Ice Queen. And I love this, right? Because I feel like there is a part of you that has received a lot of insight. You have a lot of ideas. And maybe you already know that there were things that you needed to do, but you didn't do them. And maybe it wasn't the right time. Maybe it wasn't the right time at the time that you had this idea, right? Like, so if you were thinking about, changing careers, or you were thinking about leaving a dead-end job or leaving a particular relationship, and you sort of froze in that aspect because you were like, I just don't know if I'm ready to do that. I don't know if I can do that. And you sort of put it off to the side. That's what the Ice Queen is. The Ice Queen is about non-action. It's about not taking action on the things that you have been given, right? Whether that's ideas or that's actually like taking steps towards something. But I think now the message for you here is that it's time that you move north. It's time that you move towards your soul truth, because you have to the sea here. And I feel that once you gain that higher view, that higher perspective, when you can see things clearer, right? Not being attached to it emotionally, but seeing things from the eagle eye point of view, right? Or seeing things from the perspective of the high priestess or your intuition. I feel then you would have a better idea of when the appropriate time to take action will be, or maybe the action will just happen spontaneously. It'll take care of itself when the timing is right, because you're meant to move more towards your true north here, PileThree. To the Sea is all about moving in the direction of your heart and your dreams and your desires. And it's about letting your intuition be your guide and move you there. And I keep getting this one thing that keeps coming up. And, I recently created my own Oracle deck, and I have a card in there called Soul Journey. And the message in that card is, it's not about the destination. It is about the experiences that you have along the path in your journey. And I keep hearing that for you here, PileThree. It's important that you make note of everything that you encounter on your path, because that is what helps build character. It helps create you to be a lot more clearer and have better alignment with your soul truth, with your higher purpose. And I feel for you, it's really about you gaining perspective. Number one, it's about you aligning with your truth. What is your truth? What is it that you ultimately desire? And I feel that once you align to that, you will then know the next step to take. And it's really about you being courageous enough to take that step and to let your intuition guide you towards the next relationship, the next job, the next career, the next situation. So let's dig a little bit deeper here. So we have the Magician, and I love this. Then we have the King of Swords. Yes, okay. At the heart of your reading, we have the Hermit with Justice and the Page of Wands. Okay, pile 3, you got 3 major arcana cards out of 5 cards. So this tells me that you are going through a massive transformation right now. That I think it's the reason why you haven't really taken any action up until this point, because you're having to make a lot of hard choices and a lot of hard decisions. At the heart of your reading, you have the Hermit card right now. And the Hermit card is all about introspection. It is about looking deep within themselves and truly understanding themselves and really aligning themselves with what their heart desires. It's about going into that journey deep within and seeing the light, right? And sometimes we have to do that alone. We can't do it with anyone else. And when we all go through that soul searching phase in our life, we uncover so many amazing things about ourselves, about our lives, about our experiences. And it ultimately brings us to a place where we want to create the things that we want to create. And it makes us really question, what changes do I really need to make? With the Magician card and the King of Swords here, the Magician is all about creator, and it's about creating the magic and creating the things that we want in our life. But the one thing about the Magician card is that we have to take action. If we don't take action towards the things that we are desiring, then we are ultimately not going to have those things. The King of Swords is all about that higher view. They see things from a much higher point of view, that they can then make intellectual decisions about the path that they are going to choose and the direction that they are going to move in. And I feel for you here, pile 3, it's you really connecting to that. You being so connected that you recognize, okay, this is exactly where I need to be. I also want to point out here that the Magician is all about your soul team. It's all about, having that helping hand from a higher point of view, a higher perspective, being able to change the path that you are on and change the experiences that you are having. So it's really about you being willing to make that change. Are you willing to make the necessary changes in order to have the life that you desire? That is ultimately the question here. With the King of Swords, understand that the King of Swords is the king over all things in the mind, right? And it's about intellect. It's about intuition, and it's wisdom. It is all the wisdom that he has gained primarily from soaring above, being able to see above the conflict, the chaos, the confusion, the illusion. And I feel this is ultimately what you're needing to do. You're needing to sort of see above everything and make intellectual choices and decisions here. Now, the Justice card is all about, it's important that you understand that justice is all about the law of cause and effect. And the law of cause and effect basically states that for every cause, there is an effect, and for every effect, there is a cause. And so it's really about learning to come into balance with our thoughts and our emotions and our actions, understanding that every action that we take there is a reaction for it. And every non-action has a non-reaction. So again, this is all about you needing to take charge here and decide, are you going to take charge and really take the action that you need in order to have the adventure, the life, the experiences that you want? The Page of Wands is all about passion, and it's all about new experiences and traveling, you know, and being able to experience new things and live passionately and purposefully. So PileThree, I feel that what this is really wanting you to be aware of is that even though you are in a hermit phase right now, you're doing a lot of introspection. You're doing a lot of thinking and a lot of analyzing. But at the end, I feel that you really ultimately need to make a choice. You need to decide what you are ultimately wanting to let go. And you have to align to your soul truth. Now, let's move a little bit deeper, because your next card is Have No Fear. And I love this because what it says is, fear is a trap of the ego. Allow me to use my sword of light to free you from the disquieting feelings holding you back. Now, this is from an Archangel Michael deck. So this is really about Archangel Michael coming to you now here, PileThree, asking you to call upon him and allow him to release you of any fear and any doubt that is holding you back from taking action. Because now is the time for you to take action towards your dreams and your desires. Next up, we have transformation. Look at that. Dark Night of the Soul. Love it. And surrender. Okay, these three cards come from my own personal deck that I created, and I love how they line up so perfectly with what we've actually been discussing. I mentioned earlier that you are going through a massive transformation because of the three major arcana cards that you receive from the tarot deck. Transformation is all about finding peace in the many phases of transformation that we go through in our journey. We go through so many different transformations. And when we go through these transformations, it's important for us to surrender. We have to surrender. We have to sort of take a pause, surrender, and trust the process and allow things to sort of be what they are and sort of mold themselves into where they're meant to be. Now, the dark night of the soul, I often see this sometimes when people are in a hermit phase, because the dark night of the soul is really about you facing your shadows, right? You really sort of uncovering within yourself these aspects that you're not comfortable with, and you're needing to explore them and show them love and move them towards the light. What it says on Dark Night of the Soul is honor your shadow period and love yourself through the darkness. And I think that's important because you might actually be going through a dark night of the soul right now here, PileThree. And as you go through this period, it's not a period of something you should be afraid of. It's not. You are actually going through a period where you are letting go of things that are no longer in alignment with who you are. And it's really about you embracing those parts that you're letting go, even the relationships, even the career or the job or whatever it is. It's really about embracing those and loving them and being grateful for the experience of having them, but then being willing to say, thank you so much for what you taught me. I'm now willing to let you go so that I can move on to the next phase of my life. And it's really, that's all it is. It's really about you embracing, sort of the breaking of the outer shell of what you've been preconditioned to be. You know, surrender is all about surrendering and allowing things to sort of move, the energy to move the way that it's meant to move, and allow, you know, our team to sort of give us easier access to the things that we ultimately want to have. Now, the last two cards for you here, PileThree, I feel are probably the most important. You got two cards here that I feel are very much a calling for you, and it's a higher calling. And when I see these two cards together, what this really tells me is that you are a being, a very big light being, who is here to create massive change in this world. But the first phase of your mission is really about uncovering who you are and embracing that. And it's really about listening, trusting who you are. So your first card is Starseed, and it says, what lights you up? And your next one is answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? I feel here, PileThree, that you have been receiving a lot of synchronistic messages. Maybe you've been seeing a lot of repeating numbers. Maybe you've been hearing certain phrases, or maybe there's certain affirmations that have sort of been popping up that you've heard repeatedly. Make no mistake that when this happens, your spirit team is trying to connect with you so that you can become aware that they're calling you. They're trying to get your attention. And, you know, with the what lights you up, I feel it's important for you to recognize that you need to start aligning with the things that light you up, the things that make you happy, the things that bring you joy, the things that you love to do. Stop trying to do things for the benefit of other individuals. Stop compromising yourself. This is about you loving yourself, honoring yourself, and allowing yourself to be exactly who you are. What is your soul calling you to do? I feel that your soul has really been calling you to let go. Let go, surrender, allow the change and the transformation to happen the way that it is meant to happen. I feel that once you do that, you will feel more comfortable in your body and in your mind, and you won't feel the resistance as much, because the more that you resist, the more it will persist. So PileThree, this is your message. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys.